Hey everybody, it's Josh to the Fun Times Guide, and I've got 5 tips for using a scale to weigh coins for the first time. Now, first tip number 1, I've got a scale here that measures in weight differences of at least 1/10 of a gram. Now, why is that important? 1/10 of a gram, okay. Well, a lot of times scales like this measure in whole integer units, or 1 gram, 2 grams, 3 grams, and so on and so forth. That's fine and dandy for measuring mail, perhaps, or how much fruit you have. But when it comes to weighing coins, you've got to be able to really get finite differences in weight, reflected on your scale, so you know what you're looking at. Why is that important? Look at these 2 pennies here. We've got a bronze Lincoln cent and a zinc Lincoln cent, or rather a copper-coated zinc Lincoln cent. The bronze cent should weigh about 3.11 grams, and the zinc cent should weigh about 2.5 grams. Now, on this scale here, which measures in increments of at least 1/10 of a gram, as this one does, you'll see that the bronze cent comes in at 3.1 grams. It might be rounding down a little bit from 3.11 grams, but at least we're in the ballpark of where it should be. We know it's a bronze cent. That's about on par. This zinc-based cent weighs in at 2.5 grams. We know that's correct. If we had a gram scale that measured only in whole units, likely this zinc cent would be rounded up to 3 grams and this bronze cent rounded down to 3 grams. So the scale itself would never really tell you what you've got. You wouldn't be able to tell a bronze cent from a zinc cent on a gram scale that measures only in whole integer units. So make sure you buy a scale that has at least 1/10 gram increments. Tip number 2, you need to know about weight tolerances. Now, a lot of us know that a penny made from bronze should weigh about 3.11 grams and a zinc cent about 2.5 grams. And, that's the standard weight that coins of those types should weigh. But in reality, not every coin weighs exactly, or not every new zinc cent weighs exactly 2.5 grams, and not every uncirculated, never worn bronze cent weighs exactly 3.11 grams. And why is that? Sometimes when the planchets are cut out, the planchets being the pieces of metal the coins are made from, when they're cut out, the thickness can vary a little bit. There could be differences in the way the coin's cut, maybe very minute differences in the alloys, and that can account for some of the weight differences or variances in those metals. And the U.S. government actually allows for those differences. They have some leniency in the weight range in which a coin should weigh when it's struck. So you need to know those differences, because a lot of times, for example, with the Fun Times Guide, we get a lot of questions about, why is my 1948 Lincoln cent weigh 3.2 grams? Is it an error because it weighs more? Or conversely, why does my zinc Lincoln cent weigh 2.6 grams? Is that an off-metal error? No, those measurements are within the tolerance of those 2 coins. And every coin type has this tolerance. You need to know what these are as you weigh your coin, so you don't get too excited. Think, oh my gosh, my Lincoln cent weighs 0.05 grams more than it should. It has to be an error. Probably not. It's just within the range of tolerance. And you need to know what those are so that you don't get too excited about so-called false positives or negatives on the scale when weighing your coins. And that's why tip number 3 is important. Make sure you know what your coin should weigh. I've got here a guidebook of United States coins from Whitman Publishing. They come out annually. And this book, I'll tell you, if you buy one book as a coin collector, buy the red book. Buy a guidebook of United States coins. It has in there all the basic information you need to know about coin collecting, about coin weights, grading coins. It has full scale, full size color pictures of each coin. Buy this book. And make sure that when you're looking at the weights of your coins, that you refer back to the basic data at the front. Like, for example, we're looking here at the Lincoln cents, the wheat cents, and it shows you that a Lincoln cent should weigh 3.11 grams. Again, that's the standard weight. It's not the tolerance. For example, a bronze cent can weigh between 2.98 grams and 3.24 grams and still be kind of within the actual standard for the weight that the coin should be. Tip number 4, you see I've got a small scale here, right? Buy a small, lightweight coin scale. Don't need to buy these big machines unless you're a coin dealer or you're dealing in bullion or whatever. And you have to have like a commercial size scale. Don't do it. This scale here is more than adequate for what I'm doing. It's actually very, very lightweight. Weighs maybe a couple, 3-4 ounces. It fits in the palm of my hand, more or less. I've got a deck of cards here. I'm not going to play whist. I'm just wanting to show you the difference here in size. Deck of cards, my coin scale. The scale's a little bit bigger in terms of the surface diameters and such, or dimensions, but it's about the same thickness. It weighs about the same, more or less. It's very easy to handle. It runs on a battery, so you don't need to have a cord plugged into the wall to operate it. Buy yourself a portable, small, lightweight coin scale, so it's real easy to tote around with you to coin shows or coin deals and such. And tip number 5, don't spend too much on your scale. Yes, again, I'm gonna go back to the point, if you've got a coin shop or you're a bullion dealer and you've got to have a commercial grade scale, I get it. You know, buy the best you can buy. Usually I do buy the best I can afford for different things. And this, this is the cheapest scale, but it's a moderately priced scale. It costs you $13. I bought it online. It's lasted me now at least 2 years, and it's not the best scale out there, but it's pretty good. And it weighs my coins accurately. It's easy to handle. You know, you can see here it opens up, flips open. It's still small, it fits in a small area, and it does the job just fine. So those are my 5 tips for using a coin scale for the first time to weigh coins. 1, make sure you buy a scale that weighs in at least 0.1 of a gram increments. 2, make sure that you know about weight tolerances for coins so that you don't get too excited if you get a coin that's just a little bit off one way or the other. It most likely is not an error. It's just within the tolerance of what the coin should weigh. 3, buy yourself a great guidebook for knowing what the coin weight should be and for knowing a lot more about coin collecting to help you become a better collector. 4, buy a small portable scale. And 5, don't spend too much. This is Josh with the Fun Times Guide. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and comment, and I'll catch you later.